welcome, Marissa. So, from all the way from New Jersey. So, feel free to tell me a little bit about who you are and what brought you to this podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. I am a 4/6 projector on the cross of planning. What brought me to this podcast was I saw your post about asking questions, and projectors are great with questions. So I was like, this is so cool. I recently quit my 9 to 5. I was a support worker and a recovery coach, somebody who worked with people. I had lived experience. I had in my third line phase of because I'm a 6 in my third line phase. I went through a lot of trial and error, addictions. My fiance passed away. A lot of stuff. So I was working, helping with people that were going through similar challenges, coming through the other side to the light, and it was just getting too much, the 40 hours a week as a projector. And I'm indirect light, so I'm nocturnal. So waking up at 6 a.m. and working to 4 is not, I couldn't do it anymore. I finally knew what the phrase "I cannot stomach this" meant with my 40. And
Mm-hmm.
it was like I had complex grief because it's my daughter's father, is the love of my life, and he passed away 3.5 years ago, and I really I didn't grieve because there's so much there. So I just started taking classes and filling my mind with stuff, learning human design, and not feeling the feelings. So I realized I couldn't keep supporting people when I haven't gone through this grief and gotten the support that I needed.
Mm-hmm.
That. And I was also, when I was working, I got diagnosed with Lyme's disease and maybe POTS syndrome, some autoimmune type stuff. And as soon as I stopped working that 9 to 5 and I was able to be in my primary health system, I was fine. No more dizziness, no more nausea. Like it all went away.
Wow.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Okay, wow. So, lots of things there. So, you've been through a whole journey, and human design has helped you find more physical health and then also processing some of the grief and some of the experiences you went through, it sounds. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. That's the beauty of human design, right? It's like we get sick when we are not actually living what we're meant to, but then when we come back to that, it actually can, yeah, restore us back to balance.
Yes, it's
So that's
beautiful.
beautiful. Amazing. So, as you know, on this podcast, you can come on here with any questions. So, I'm curious, what is like something you really burningly would love to know right now in your life as a projector?
Well, so I did quit my job and I did have this intention on starting my own podcast and my own community or mentorship or business with human design. And I'm working on it. I'm collaborating with like a bunch of different people and here and there, but I'm not monetizing yet. Um, what would you say would be the best ways for projectors if they leave their job to start monetizing, even if it's small income streams or some like affiliate marketing or something small to get started?
Okay, I love this question because it's right up my alley. I'm all about abundance. I love to teach projectors how to call in that abundance, and it's what I've been doing for like last few years almost. And so I'm going to share my perspective
Yeah.
and my opinion from what I learned, and of course you take what resonates with you. One thing I will say as a projector is I don't recommend small income streams. There's no starting small the way I see it really much as a projector because our guidance is so deep and valuable that we are meant to be paid big for what we do, actually. Um, does that mean you shouldn't be doing stuff for free or you shouldn't be doing podcasts? No, of course not. I think it's great to do that. Just very important to keep the equation in mind that, we have this limited energy and it's so valuable that if you give it all for free, there might not be so much left for what actually matters. So, what I really recommend for projectors who want to leave their 9 to 5, and what I teach is you need to set up a good business strategy. So, you have a container for which you can do your free stuff. Like I post on Instagram for free all the times, I do YouTube videos, all of it for free. But it leads back to my funnel of my work so that when people get that taste, And the soulmates that will resonate it, they will be like, yeah, like I want more of this. Then they can go through my funnel and they can, request working with me if that's what feels good for them. So about your question is I would really get a good business strategy from a projector because otherwise they don't understand your energy either. To set up a business where you can be an energy guide, basically. So
Mm,
that could still look like you doing all of your free stuff that you're doing, but then it needs to somehow lead to the paid stuff as well, because it is also within the paid stuff that you're actually really going to be able to transform people's lives. Because as projectors, when someone pays us, that is a big form of recognition of saying, I recognize what you do is valuable. And then that just fuels your energy in a way that you really can guide so deeply. So good business strategy changed everything for me. Before I implemented that, I used to do oracle readings for like $20 the reading and all this kind of stuff. And I was just like burned out because I couldn't keep up with it and I really wanted to help and I was frustrated. And then I finally implemented a good business strategy, which is the one I teach inside of my program as well. And like the first month I launched my program, I made 10K. And there was like a huge difference from making $20 per reading to then actually making 10K from just, 4 clients who really recognized what I was doing. So good business strategy to make the answer very simple. Is that helpful?
yes, that's incredible. So do you would you recommend doing like packages, like long term with clients, kind of holding their hand and guiding them as projectors?
Very good question also. I love your questions. They're so aligned.
Mhm.
um, so the way that I teach business for projectors, I call it life purpose activation. So what I recommend and what I help my projectors do is to figure out like what is actually your unique blueprint, what is your unique purpose, and then create a methodology from that. So for instance, my methodology is life purpose and abundance activation. And from that, I've created like a program, right? And now I'm also doing retreats and I'm doing in-person events. And you can do lots of things from that. But what I would start with is like a mentorship program. So for some people, that could be just one-on-one calls. For me, it's like a curriculum and one-on-one calls. So, there's different models of how you can do it. But for me, I would really start with a purpose activation, which is a deeper inner work than it's so much business strategy. And
Yeah.
that's again why, the way that I work with projectors is like a lot of energy work and then the right business strategy. And when that comes together, that's like where the magic happens. So yeah, to answer your question, um, yes, longer term for sure is better for projectors. That's where we get to do the deeper. And
Hmm.
how longer term depends a bit on your design as well. Because for instance, I have the intimacy gate. So I love to work very deeply and long time with my clients. My clients tend to work with me 2 years or more, whereas other people might have, if you have the alpha channel or other channels, you could be the type that just needs a lot more exposure and work with bigger groups. So it also depends a little bit on your unique design. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah, is that helpful?
Absolutely. I have the 59-6 in my South Node. So, so breaking down barriers to achieve union. And yeah, so I definitely like the intimate and
Mm,
because I work with like trauma informed approaches and like EFT and other kind of energy modalities as well. So I think what you just said is so important because, and that's why I love human design, right? Because it has the business aspect of it, and then it also it's the awakening aspect of it too. And
mhm,
you can use your chart for to become your own authority, and then you can grow and expand into your and use your chart as a business platform, right? It's
mhm.
it's really cool. That's amazing, and that's where I hope to get to.
Yeah,
With
you're on the right track for sure.
yeah, with your do you do would you suggest if I was to do a mentorship to do or other projectors to do a mentorship to do like a bunch of people, like one to many? I guess it depends on the design too, right? Because I have the 1/8, so I can hold for small groups, but other projectors may not
Mhm.
be able to if they don't have, some of the small group channels. But so would you, in general, would you suggest one to one or one to many?
Yeah, you almost answered it yourself a little bit. Like it really depends a bit on your design, but always as projectors, of course, one-to-one is where we really are very golden. But for us to do one-to-one, it needs to be very high-end. Like the clients, I suggest it's a very high-end price because uh, we give such deep guidance at that level. So firstly, I think it's something you can experiment with. Like the way that I teach business, for instance, is you can actually try out all of the different models within the same structure. And then you can kind of learn, like, okay, this is how I want to do it. This is how I want to do it. But like I have the 1/8 channel as well. I also have the Gate 59. So similar to you, I tend to work with small groups. Like I have 5 clients in my program at a time, and that's it. And I tend to get quite a lot of one-on-one clients as well. Whereas I know other projectors will definitely do better with, bigger groups that is a lot less, how to say, hand holding, but more just like, having people in their space and then they have the videos and that's it. Whereas I'm more the hand holding type. And
Mm-hmm.
I just knew this before I even like understood that in my chart. So I think you can kind of trust what feels good to you. And if you're not sure, test it out. And then it's going to make sense with your chart eventually as well. So yeah, it's there's something for everyone.
Absolutely, that's beautiful. What do you think? How do you start attracting clients? What do email marketing? Do you do all the things, or do you have like a specific way?
I love this question as well. Thank you for bringing that. Because it's such a typical, like business question. And I like to bring a very different approach than what you will hear from most business coaches out there. Because of, I work also with the Gene Keys. And within
Mm-hmm.
the Pearl sequence of the Gene Keys, there is this, how do you say, hypothesis. I don't know if it's the right word, but the structure is all about when you embody your purpose, you right environment, your brand, you will actually naturally draw in your soulmate clients to you. So the best business strategy, embody your authentic energy. That's what I
Mm-hmm.
teach my clients. And because you are your marketing.
Yes, that's what I've been thinking too. Like at first I was going crazy. Like, do I do a website? How do I do the funnels, all these things? And then I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to start recording, putting it on YouTube, collaborating with others, and just showing my authenticity and helping other people out. Like, I'm helping out. I don't, if you know the Dream Rave, Vicky McHale, she's doing a Dream Rave class, and she also found these correlations with the amino acids with the gates and potential health vulnerabilities. So I'm helping her out with that class too. So I'm just trying to, my contribution to contribute, and I'm also the 3740. So yeah, trying to contribute to help others, and not
Mhm.
push so much and just wait for the wait for the recognition and invitations.
Yeah, amazing. Sounds like you're already doing so great. Give yourself a high five for that.
Oh.
Especially with the website, because I have a lot of people. And the first tip I always give people, forget about the website. Like, forget about all this stuff right now. The first thing we have to do is like decondition, trauma healing, inner child healing, align with your design. And then we put the business structure. Because before that, there's not the clarity, and we need the clarity first. And I cannot tell you, Marissa, like I have signed clients from going to salsa class. I have signed clients from like dance events. I have signed clients from retreats I went to without any intention of signing clients, just because they came into touch with my energy and they were like, what are you doing? Like, I need to know who you are? And every time it happens to me, it's so magical. Like, I can never get over it. But
Oh.
it just shows, that we are like lighthouses as projectors. And the more we embody what we do, and then, of course, we have to funnel, because every time that happened, I always send these people like, okay, so you can, get to know more about what I do here, blah, blah, blah. So the structure is important, but, the structure and the embodiment are like, it's the two things that come together the way they see it.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's awesome that you have that, because the structure is where I'm just so with the structuring, it can be hard for a lot of people, especially people with right variables, to be
Mm.
structured. It's like
Yeah, I get you, because I also am like with the right variables, and um just it's for me, I hired many different business coaches. They taught me strategies and they work. And what can I say? They work, especially when you're very like spiritually oriented like I am, then I'm all like woo and all this amazing stuff. But then I need the structure and then I can deliver my work. So I get you so much.
That's beautiful. I love how you were able to embody that and actually put the structures into place. And how long did it actually take for you to start making well, you did say you were doing the readings for like $20 and then you had a 10K month. A
Yeah.
large following already.
Sorry?
Did you have a large following already when you made that 10K month?
No, and I still don't. I have less than 2,000 followers on Instagram, but I consistently make between 5 to 10K a month. Why? Because I have a very good strategy in place. So I don't focus on following personally. I mean, I'm starting a little bit more now, but I like to teach a strategy that works even if you have 300 followers. Because imagine you just need 2 free clients a month at most. For 300 followers, even, that's actually very doable if you really know how to message or market your messaging. Um, so when I implemented the business strategy, let me think, I hired a business coach in like August and it was October when I made the 10K. So it took some time for me to structure and everything. But yeah, it wasn't actually long at all.
That was really fast. That's incredible. Wow. Definitely give yourself a high five.
Yeah, and I hope that's inspiring for you to know also that, it's like things can shift. They really can. And it's just a matter of the right energy, the right support. And for us as projectors, having coaches is like the way that I see it essential because there's just blind spots we don't see and we cannot do everything ourselves. Like we're just not meant for that. So we need to hire in the places where we don't have the strengths. So yeah, amazing. So we're running out of the time here on the podcast for today, but thank you so much for your incredible questions. I hope they were helpful for you and definitely also for the people that are going to listen. I know this will be super helpful advice because business for projectors can be so overwhelming, right? Like, where do we start? What do I do? So before we close off today, Marissa, do you have anything else you'd like to add or just share with the audience?
Um, I just I'm just coming out and starting to work in human design. I'm starting to offer readings and guidance and sessions. And like I said, I work with the Dream Rave and Rave Cosmology as well. So and I'm looking for collaborations because I'm a split definition as well. So it's hard for me to do a lot on my own. So yeah, I just want to say hi to everybody out there, introduce myself. I'm in this world of human design, and yeah, I love this stuff. And as we're getting closer to 2027, I know it's really important for projectors to be in the right place, so that we can guide the energy in the most efficient way.
Yes, absolutely. Amazing. So I will put Marissa's contact down below for everyone to find her. And
Thank you.
yeah, thank you so much for today.